Hey there, this is Wythe Marshall from the Stillfleet Studio. We put together a little podcast called Why We Roll, and now we're very proud to be part of the network Podderation. So if you're listening to one of Podderation's other great shows, and you're interested in TTRPGs specifically, that's tabletop role-playing games, you might be interested in our show. Why We Roll is all about how you make TTRPGs, what makes them fun, different kinds of stories you can tell with TTRPGs, and even the business, so the practical advice side. So if any of that sounds appealing, whether you're a GM, you want to design your homebrew game, or you're interested in getting in the industry, why don't you head over to Why We Roll, check us out. We really, really appreciate it, and keep making awesome stuff.
Gamers Anonymous, the podcast where everyone is welcome at the table, but of course, as always, especially during this holiday season, no one knows whose turn it is. This is Chris.
Hey, and this is Anthony.
And this is episode 558, AI in Tabletop Gaming, the Wall-E Paradox. We'd like to thank all our Patreon backers for helping us bring you a brand new episode. Hey friends, it is so great to have you here for this week. And it's not just Anthony and I, it's also the future, which is AI. Or as we like to call him, Al.
Do we?
I don't know. I'm trying to make it nice and friendly and comfortable instead of Terminator-like destruction and, opposition and, just crushing and stuff like that. One day the AI will take over and they will be our future masters. And hopefully they're fans of the podcast, man.
Yeah. I'll go on record.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a fan of Al. I think Al's bad for society. We'll get into it.
Oh, no. I, for one, welcome our AI overlords and welcome a new co-host. His name's Al. Hey,
no.
Al, how's it going, Al?
Hey. The most commonly said word on this podcast is my name. What are you going to do about without
true.
that?
Yeah, we got a rap video from our podcast studio, and the number one word is Anthony. Anthony. I wonder who was saying that all the time.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's very funny. I think it's a joke because the video itself doesn't actually provide all that much in the way of insights, but we did find out that the number one word is Anthony. It
is Anthony. So this is an Anthony-heavy podcast, so I may not be able to replace Anthony with AI just yet.
Yeah, we're just adding to the numbers for next time around.
That's right. We're just never getting off this train, people. Anthony, This is an Anthony-centric podcast. You love him. I do. He's here each and every week. We're so glad to have him here.
Yeah. Well, except the weeks I'm not.
So. Well, except the weeks he's not. Therefore, we have lesser Anthonys who are here on the podcast.
Yes.
But we love them one and all. We had a lot of friends this year on the podcast.
We did, yeah. I had a lot of last minute trips where I had to be out. So we had lots of people came in and kind of helped fill in.
Yeah, we had Will and we had Megan and we had Chris and Aaron. And I want to say we had Dave at some point, but that might have been a little while ago.
Yeah, I don't know if that was last fall or not, but Dave's definitely been on.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
But we've been glad to be with you throughout the year here each and every week and appreciate so much that you all support us any way that you can, especially during this holiday season. It means a lot to all of us that you hit up all of the social medias, hit up patreon.com/BGA because there's a lot of great extra content there for you. We want to provide as much BGA goodness, especially during the holiday season when you get busy, you get a little burnt out, and you might want to just chill out with your friends a little bit and talk about some tabletop games. And Anthony, which I'll say again, now I'm going to be very conscious of this now.
I know. I've incepted you. It's gonna mess with your brain.
I'm gonna have to start using my New York Italian Antony. So
No,
Antony,
no, 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 no.
it's my people. It's the Antonys. And
uh,
even the BGA website, boardgamersanonymous.com, is going to be all brand new with some tweaks and fun stuff. It's look clean and new and simple.
yeah, that's a fun thing. That should be up by the time. Well, maybe not this episode, but next week, before the holidays, there will be a brand new BoardGamersAnonymous.com launched for everybody's viewing pleasure. A little bit faster, a little fewer glitches, new software, all the fun bells and whistles. So that'll be up very very soon.
And what's on that website if someone has not gone there, which seems crazy after 13 plus years?
Yeah, I mean, every one of our episodes is up there. You can listen to those on the website. And a lot of people do. Like a surprising number of people go to the website and click play on the page, which is awesome. But we also have lots of reviews. We have our top lists. So if you want to see our top 100 list, it is there. We put up our most anticipated lists, our most anticipated games of the year lists every January. Those are all on there as well. My top 10 games of the year will be up sometime the next couple weeks. I always write up a little article for that, as well as special guest articles and reviews from all sorts of people. Not just you and I, Chris, but everybody. We mentioned Megan and Will and a whole bunch of other people. Dave, they've all written reviews for the website, so you can check it out. There's over 1,000 articles on the site, plus all the reviews and all the podcast episodes. So,
and these are written articles and not AI.
Zero AI on the website. Zero.
There you go, buddy.
I will burn it all down if someone starts.
So you actually got a lot extra content there. Again, if you never got a chance, please go on there. Anthony's an excellent writer. That's his thing. He writes. He's the writer. So go read his writings, because like you listen to the lovely dulcet tones of Anthony Sheffield, but have you read his words? Have you read his prose? Have you listened to his fantastic description of games and his reviews? And sometimes he burns games too. It happens.
Yeah. And you know who else reads from my reviews? Freaking AI.
No.
Stuff.
Eventually, Anthony will be incorporated into the Borg matrix, but until then, there's a great website with a lot of cool stuff there. Plus, all of our links and our events, and stuff to Board Game Academics and all the other stuff we've done in the past, the events and the charities and blah blah blah, so forth and so on. Yep. So please, absolutely, positively, during this holiday season, do us a solid and hit up one of, if not all of our sites, the social media, the website, and especially patreon.com/BGA. Again, thank you all for your support. We would not be here whatsoever if not for all of you, and especially letting everybody know about us so that the numbers continue to grow. With that said, Anthony, we have so much to talk about this episode. Let's get on to it. You know what? Let's roll for preview.
All right. Roll for preview this week. This is a game that we saw briefly at PAX Unplugged. It was right next to the Mystic Curling Society. That I was gleefully playing while you were in a meeting. And winning handily, I should say.
There you go.
I was very good that particular day. I am terrible at dexterity games, but I was like sliding those dice perfect.
To be fair, I was winning at the meeting too.
You were winning at the meeting. We were both winning.
There was a lot of dexterity in that meeting too. You didn't see it, but a lot of things were
dancing around.
I was throwing a lot of dice. Persuasion check. Persuasion check.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is the other one that they were kind of promoting that was going to be up on crowdfunding shortly thereafter, called Chess Joker. So it's chess, but with a twist. It's a Carl Chudik game.
Asmati.
As from Asmati, yeah. So the core rules are simple, right? You are actually playing chess. So sometimes you're playing like these tweaks on chess. It's not actually chess. This is chess. However, every time you take a turn, you're going to draw a card from a deck and place it face up in front of you. And then on your next turn, you can either take a normal move and discard the card, or perform the special effect on the card and put it in your scoring pile. So there's now two ways to win chess. You can either checkmate your opponent the main way, right? Or you can score 800 points by playing those cards.
Okay.
I thought it was a very clever, fun idea. Obviously, the execution's going to matter, and like getting a quick preview of it at PAX and then seeing what's on BackerKit isn't enough to know if all the cards are interesting.
Sure.
Like for example, one of the cards here is move your king directly forward 1 square, then add a pawn where it was, right? So you're putting more pieces on the board in this
Sure.
case, and that's interesting, except if you really don't want to move your king. Like, that's bad. I'm going to get checkmated if I do that. So then you discard that. You don't get the special effect of it, but you're still playing the game the way you would want to, right? So you're kind of juggling different ideas here, based on the pieces that come up, based on the kind of the RNG of the cards that you draw, how many points the card is worth. So you might get to the point at the end of the game, you're like, I just need another 100 points. This is a terrible move, but it doesn't matter. It gets me to 800 and I win the game. So it's kind of chaotic, but in a weirdly organized way. And I just, I love chess, but I like the idea too of like adding some weird mixes to the game. There was a game I played. I actually played it digitally on Tabletopia during COVID. I think it's called For the Crown, and is a victory point game, I think. But it also had a similar thing where you're like messing with the basic core mechanics of chess, and it was fun because it just like it takes what you know and it just throws it in a blender. So this is that, a little less of that, but it's still fun, still interesting. So I'm keeping an eye on it. It's on Backer Kit, which I don't know why Asmodee's on Backer Kit of all places. But they are. Here it is. It's got like 23 days left. It has met its goal, but it's not like way over its goal. It's like at 17,000. It's a weird time to run a crowdfunding campaign, but it also looks like it might be a little bit of a pre-order because it says it ships in May. So
sure. So it's already produced.
Yeah, it must be if they're going to ship it in 5 months. So
yeah, and this is a well-known company that we've dealt with for like a decade. At
least. They're like super indie. They're they've been producing games forever, but it's a small little company. But we know them; they've been doing stuff for a long time. I imagine this is already produced. It's also not a lot of, but like you look at it, it's a neoprene mat with some little, like wooden chits for the chess pieces, and then a deck of cards. Very light on resources. And I imagine you could play this with any chessboard.
Sure.
And then just all you really need is the deck of cards.
Yes.
So, like, I have my own fancy chessboard. I probably would just use that and then the cards. But it's cool. It's $40 for the whole game, which
that's not bad.
It's not terrible. No, it's again, if I could just buy the deck of cards, that'd be cool. But then I think everybody would just do that. So I understand why they're selling it all together. But yeah, it's interesting. And again, Carl Chuddick making a game, always good.
Yeah, I think we met him like a decade ago when we picked up Motanai. I think it was at Gen Con.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And they had like a preview room. And he's produced some really amazing games. And like you said, like we talk a lot about like independent publishers and designers, but like this is Carl Chris's company. Like this is their thing. This is what they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Carl Chuddick, of course.
Yeah.
Famously of Glory to Rome fame.
Innovation.
Yeah. So this is
Red 7. Yeah.
Red 7. Yeah, a lot of really good games. And, not somebody who's like out there producing a lot of different things. Most of the games released in the last few years are like spins on other things. So
yes.
I'm excited to see if this is good. It seemed cool. It really is just going to come down to like the balance of those cards. But yeah, I'm tempted to pick it up for $40. But again, if I could just get the deck of cards, that'd be great.
I mean, I appreciate again, having playing chess a lot in my life, and they have the pieces here are not full pieces, and again, this kind of goes against the grain, where like if this was if somebody else was handling this, you would have like fully sculpted 3D, like excellent, like knights and castles and stuff like that. It's like it's chits. You're not chits. It's like little discs, right?
Yeah, they're little wooden discs like you'd see in like a Euro game. Yeah,
which is I think this would pack up pretty small.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. The neoprene mat always kind of throws me when they do that because it's just like, does it fit in the box? Can I roll this up in the box?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the size of the cards next to the board. The board must be pretty small. Like,
sure.
I'm assuming you roll this into the box and then the cards and the pieces go on the other side. It can't be that big of a box.
No.
And $40 in today's economy, like these materials don't have to be that big, so
Sure.
it's cool. I honestly, any game that's like we're gonna do a mix on chess, I'm like, okay, but then if you put the right designer on it, okay.
Sure.
So I'll let it check this one out. I am following it. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And yeah, the shipping is high because the shipping is high for everything. But at least the base copy price is small, and there's no like deluxeified version.
Yeah, and there's somewhere, Anthony, there's a list. I don't know if there's a list of 10, but there's a list out there where it's like the best chess reinventions
Sure.
games out there, like the Duke. The Duke is a chess kind of game. So
yeah,
there are other
For the Crown, like I mentioned. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's Chess 2, which is terrible, but it exists.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of games out there. There's one that I saw recently where it's basically puzzle pieces and it makes up the chessboard. It's like a module kind of board.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. So very cool. All right, let's hit on to our roll for review, Anthony.
All right. So this is a game that you and
Is
I
it
both
a game? Is it?
It is a game. I think
it's a
so.
game on a podcast about games.
It's actually a jigsaw puzzle. So we're gonna do that now.
Twist.
Yeah, we're that podcast now.
Oh no. We were wondering where the podcast was going to go. Was it going to be a murder mystery? Was it going to be an escape room? Turns out it's a puzzle. You gotta listen
I had a family member a few years ago ask if we covered puzzles.
Oh wow.
And I asked them, I'm like, what would that be? And they're like, I don't know. Like, you just talk about puzzles and stuff. And I'm like, but like a jigsaw puzzle? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what would that be? I really like the picture. The pieces fit together nice. I don't know.
I think I looked this up at one point, and correct me, and the audience can correct me if I'm wrong. I did not find a puzzle game podcast, but there should be one out there.
Right. Puzzles are so popular.
Yeah. But I think that's probably what it'd be, right? It'd be picture, it'd be complexity, it'd be quality of pieces. I mean, there's massive competitions where people are puzzling. Like I've seen where like hundreds of people are putting together puzzles at the same time and trying to outspeed each other and stuff of that nature. But yeah, I think as far as like the complexity of that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more of a video format where you would have to show the picture.
Right. Yeah, it'd be hard to describe a puzzle.
Yeah. Puzzles have worked themselves into a lot of board games as well. That's
true.
That's been a thing that's been growing throughout the time.
Yeah. I literally I picked up a game at PAX, the Voynich puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally puzzle pieces on the board.
Wow, that's funny.
It's a new Danny Garcia game. I haven't played it yet, but it's just like I punched it the other day. I'm like, it's just a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, and I think I've seen there's a couple of escape room games that are puzzles also. You have to put the puzzle together to be able to figure out the escape room.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, what'd you play?
All right.
And again, you're saying this is in fact a game.
It is a game.
All right, go for it.
You saw it. You were there.
I was there.
We had a preview.
A preview copy from our friends at
good
Smirk
friend
and Dagger.
Kurt at Smirk and Dagger Games. Yeah, he gave us a preview copy of A Place for All My Books. So this is a game about stacking books around your house. Yes.
Still a game, not a book?
Still a game, not a book.
Okay.
Yep. There are books in it.
Gotcha.
But not specific books, just books. So the general premise of the game is you have a little grid in front of you. I think it's 4x4, and there's different rooms of your house represented here in like different shapes. And you are quite literally stacking little wooden books in those rooms. The goal in doing so is to accomplish different objectives, right? And so these will be like, have no blue books in your kitchen, but 5 blue books in the rest of your house, or have 3 stacks of at least 4 different colored books, things like that, right? And so as you complete those different things, you're going to gain victory points towards winning the game. What makes the game unique, and that part's fun because you're doing a little puzzle, but what makes the game really unique is that you have to manage this social energy as you're doing this, right? And I can't remember the exact word the game uses, but it's effectively that, right? You are an introvert who it takes energy to go into public and to pick up more books. So to gain that energy, you are sorting and stacking and working through everything at home. So you have your personal player board. It has a bunch of different locations you can go to take actions. So one would be like sort the books. You pick up a stack of books and distribute them to the top of any stacks or empty spaces. You gain 1 energy. Um, gather books, you gain energy for that. Rest, you can get new cards and objectives and gain 2 energy for that. You can read a book, which is great. There's just an action in the game. Read a book, gain 2 energy, and move 1 book to your nightstand. And your nightstand is a special location. That's an important location because when you have things in your nightstand and you go into town, you can swap them for different colored books. The books come in multiple colors, and that's how you're going to determine like the different types of objectives you're completing. Each character has a color they prefer, and it's usually color coded to their player color. And the artwork here is great. It's all very like cozy core. Like if you played like cozy video games or like read books, very soft colors, nice animation. Like and like what and the character I was playing the first time I played was like the red board, and it's literally he's sitting there painting a board game miniature. I love it. It's perfect. Like
Nice.
And that's the rest picture. That's how they're resting. So these are the actions you take around the house, and you can build up that energy meter up to like 19. And what you can go whenever you feel like it, but at some point you'll take an action to leave the house. It costs 5 up front. You immediately spend 5 energy just to leave the house, just to step foot outside. But then once you get outside, you go to town, and in town there are various actions you can take, right? So there's a library where you can draw books, different books from the bag, keep one, and then deal others to the bookstore. That costs an energy. There's the bookstore itself, where you can take a stack of books. It's up to you which one you take, but the larger the stack, the more energy it costs. There are the village shops, which will take anywhere between 3 and 9 energy to go to. So the actions will give you a certain number of books and a certain amount of flexibility, and the energy obviously corresponds to that. So you're going to move up or down based on that. So you can stay in town and take these different actions as long as you have energy to do so. You can leave whenever you want, right? You don't have to stay there until you run out of energy. You can stay. You can leave if you have 5 left, 10 left, whatever. But eventually, you're going to go back home. You're going to take all those books you bought in town. You're going to allocate them to your personal board, take them out of your backpack, and then continue puzzling. So it is a puzzly game. It's I would say it's a tableau builder, but not really, because you're just kind of moving things around, and nothing really stays in the same place. So at any point in time, you might pick up a stack and redistribute it, or move things out of the way, or spread them out. And as you get different objectives, you're going to change what you're trying to accomplish, because you're like, oh, I finished this objective. I have all these blue books. Now I have this other objective where I need to spread them out, right? So there's a few different ways you can go about this. The game continues until a certain number of times somebody has gone to town, based on the player count. And then there's one more round after that. It goes pretty fast. Like, realistically, you're probably only going to get to go to town twice, maybe 3 times. So you have like 2 big cycles where you're building up energy and then going and spending it. And so you need to like kind of balance the time flow there to make sure that you can accomplish all the goals you want to accomplish. I had a lot of fun with this. I think it's a very cute game, but it's more substantial than I think I expected.
Sure.
It's not a heavy game by any means. It's like a 2.2, 2.5. But there's more in the box than I realized, right? Like, your own little personal puzzle can get a little thinky. Like, you're trying to figure out, how do I get these things in different places? I need to take a certain combination of actions to spread these books out and get them into the right locations. And then ideally, you want to complete multiple objectives at the same time for efficiency, right? Because when you complete objectives, you gain energy, and the more you complete at once, the more energy you get. So it's action efficiency, because the timer on the game keeps moving even if you're taking actions very inefficiently. So you might look at the board and like, how do I get this so that I'm completing all 3 of these objectives at the same time? Can I even do that? And then you maneuver things around and kind of get them in place. It reminds me of a lot of the other recent puzzly games, things like Calico or Cascadia or something like that, where you're manipulating and trying to get things in the right order to match certain objectives. But then those objectives change throughout the game, which is what makes this one a little bit unique. Um, Thematically, very strong. Again, the artwork I really like. It's all very soft and soothing. Um, it's really quite impressive of a game, especially from like Smirk and Dagger. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like I think of Smirk and Dagger, I think of a certain type of game. This is like so low key chill, right?
Sure.
And I know like they've shifted into like they had for a while they said Smirk and Laughter, and now it's all Smirk and Dagger again. But
Yeah.
this is like it gets the same like visual vibes of like a Boop, but it's not. There's no confrontation there really. The only thing you're competing with each other on is time. Like you need to.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a race. That's the tension. Is take your actions as efficiently as you can because the game will end whether you want it to or not.
Yes.
So yeah, Place for All My Books. Very, very fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I love the idea of the social battery being your general energy source as far as what your actions you can take.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that that's been an overlooked action dynamic. I mean, it's action points, of course, where
Right.
you raise and you drop. But again, considering that is so much part of our gamer culture and our personal kind of experience in the world, this is the first time I'm hearing or seeing that represented, which is surprising.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's like when Kurt described it to us, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's a thing we all feel, right? Even the extroverts, like you have to recharge in some way. It's just maybe you do it
The
with
opposite.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody needs a charge at some point. But in this case, I'm like, I feel this so perfect. I literally have sat in this office and been like, I just need to reorganize all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and that'll make me feel good, and that'll put me in a good headspace. And that's it. That's my day. That's what I'm doing for the day. And so like and like the actions, like the time is taken for the actions of like there are different ways you can interact with this collection of books, and you get different amounts of social energy based
Sure.
on the type of action, and they all kind of feel legit, right? Like you can get a lot of points for admiring if you've set up your collection in a really impressive way. So you sit and stare at your shelves for a while and you're happy about it. Yep, I've done that. Like, reading a book gives you more points than sorting and gathering books. Yeah, that makes sense because you're
Sure.
actually engaging with it. Leaving the house immediately, 5 energy down. Yeah, 100%. I feel that every day. So yeah, no, it's a really cool game. It's a funny thing, like rating wise.
Yeah.
I think mechanically, it's not doing anything that's revolutionary. I mentioned those other games like the Calicos and the Verdants and the Cascadias, and it's kind of in that collection ballpark. It's a little more fiddly and complex than that.
Yeah.
Because it has some dynamic pieces that are moving. It also has like the item cards that you buy in town, which can change the rules, adjust things, or become like sets to collect. So that's a whole other mechanic to keep track of. So like it's almost a little too much, like if you're trying to play it with like children. Where there's like a simple elegance to those other games that are just pure puzzle. Like this is not pure puzzle. It's like core puzzle, but it's not pure puzzle.
Yes.
So like I'd say it's from a mechanical perspective, it's a play. From a thematic perspective, it's a buy because it's so unique. Like there's no other games that are like this is what we're doing and we're doing it well. So like I'm happy to have it. I think it's a great game. But at the same time, if the theming doesn't do it for you, if you just play the game and all you're looking at is the mechanics, you're like, okay, yeah, I've seen this in other places.
Sure.
This is clever.
Well, that's where the thematic play kind of plays into the illustrations. Yeah. Naomi Lord, Alex Cutler, and Mike Mihalsik. Again, just the idea of like the essence of the game, the components of the game, the artwork of the game, the intuitive dynamics that we all live with being incorporated in the game lends itself to the plane of a game. And if a game does that, then it certainly deserves a bump, even though the mechanics can be more pedestrian, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at. I think it's a buy because everything comes together really nicely. it is like that's a perfect way to put it. It's all very intuitive
Yes.
because the theme is so carefully integrated into those mechanics. Like I mentioned, it's a little more fiddly than another game, like another puzzly game, but it's fine because everything you're doing makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? I went to the store and I bought some stuff that used up all my social battery, but now I have all this cool stuff, and
Yes.
I brought it home, and it makes my books more interesting. Like
Yes.
I have a lamp that I can put in my bedroom, and now I can read more at night, and I get a little more energy when I read.
Sure.
100%. That's a perfectly thematic. Everything makes sense there. I love it.
Now you need to have an extrovert expansion where it's the opposite.
Oh my god. Where
And
like people in town like rush into your house, like what?
100%. Like if they don't leave the house, they lose 5, energy from their social battery.
Yeah, yeah.
And every time they have to go back to bring the books back, they get drained. They're like, how long does it take to set these books up on my shelf? Like, am I going to make it out?
Yeah. The thing I love about this too is like it could I think the theming is perfect. It's a little more universal.
Yes.
This could have been board games.
I'm surprised it wasn't. I kept saying it myself like 15,000 times at this point. I'm just like, why was this not games? Like, how did Kirk not do games here? Like, how is this not?
I don't know. And like I said, like one of the characters is painting a mini. There are the set collection cards in the item deck are board games. You're collecting board games as like a secondary collection. Maybe they'll do it like a second version.
Sure.
I know Kurt mentioned that like this game is getting wide release, got picked up by Barnes and Noble and stuff. So maybe this one does well, and similar to Boop, they make a second version that's board games instead of books.
I think this again, it's keeping with the thematics. I think, and especially the introversion, it's more of a book reader thing than it is a game player. Because I think to play games, even though it is more or less more on the introverted side, you do have to have some sort of some small level of extrovertedness to kind of engage with.
That is a good point. Yeah, like
where books are almost 99.9%. Like you have to be able to like go off into a corner and read by yourself.
It's a solitary activity. Yeah,
100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the only time you're ever socially engaged is when you again go out to buy more books. So,
and it's a bad thing.
Yeah. And that's if you go out. Like there's no mention here of online shopping or anything. Like you do literally have to leave the house to buy books, but like that'd be an interesting mechanic. Like
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of, and you see this in a lot of games where you have to expend action points to the point of you're going to fall down or you're going to lose, like, can you produce food for your family kind of situation?
Right,
like,
right.
Can I put everything, can I gamble? Can I press my luck just to the edge? And then the further to the edge I go, the more I'm able to pull back and score.
Right.
But again, there's that careful balance of like, how close to the line do you get?
Yeah. 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 No, it's clever in that way. And I think the real tension here does come in like the efficiency of it.
Sure.
Which is why I like it so much. I love a good efficiency puzzle. But it's because if you don't care about that part, it's kind of loosey-goosey. You just kind of go with it. You take actions. There's no penalties at any point. Like it's not like you can overspend. Like if you completely deplete your battery, your next action is just to go home.
Sure.
But they don't penalize you. You don't go to the negative, which is nice because that would be depressing. And your character had an anxiety attack.
I need an adult.
An expansion to like anxiety and depression. Like no.
Well, we've been at game nights playing times with friends of ours who are just literally crashed because their social battery ran out like halfway through game day, and they had to sit in the corner and just sit there for a while.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot considering you and I are more on the introverted side to begin with.
I know, yeah.
So for them to crash out, we're like, first day?
First day, you got to build up that resilience, man. Come on,
man. Take some action points to play with them. Just saying. Yeah.
I sat at like that time we did that 25-hour marathon. I sat in the chair in my basement and ignored my family for an entire day after that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, the whole weekend was gone. Like Monday came around.
That's funny.
My son's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "I'm fine now."
Well, the only worst thing is what I am is like more of an ambivert. So I'm more towards the middle on the introvert side. Like I'm slightly introverted, but like ambivert on that side. So it's just like people, yes. Alone, yes. Like I don't know what to do. How do I manage this? Like, yeah, it's not fun.
That's
But
funny. That's
gaming
true.
does it. Gaming does it. Yeah.
If you're introverted, you know exactly what you need. It's like, I
That's
need
100%. Yeah.
quiet right now. Go away.
Can I have people but be quiet? It's like the idea of like you have people at parallel play, I think is a whole thing.
Yeah.
So people doing their own thing while you're next to them doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool vibe. It's a nice little lo-fi thing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's everything that we got to the table this week. Now on to our feature review. Our feature review this week is, I think, one of the most important feature reviews we've done in quite some time. We're talking about a somewhat serious topic that is just everywhere at the moment. In fact, the United States government, the executive branch, explicitly put in like regulations that, well, I don't know if you would call it regulations, but is looking to stop other states from regulating AI. And
we call those lawless decrees.
Yeah, but that's happening there in other places. And there's also just questions about data centers and all the things that are happening there, and the intrusion of AI. No one seems to know what they're doing about it, and people who are in charge are just not digital natives on any level. So they're having a lot of problems with that stuff as well. Plus, these are high finance people who are literally holding the economy together in a gigantic AI bubble.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like I always I rant to you all the time offline about this. But also to like my colleagues on campus or my wife. God bless her. But AI what it is now is doesn't do nearly all the things that all the money people will tell you that it does.
It's not true AI.
No, it's kind of dumb. It's just really good at imitating stuff.
Yes.
And the reason it's so good at it is because they have gone out and stolen a whole bunch of stuff to imitate.
Yeah.
So that's why we are where we are now. It's really good at that. Also sometimes bad at it. But the problem, and I hate it, I think it's terrible, but the problem is, like you said, it is propping up the world economy right now. If all of a sudden we all collectively decided this stuff was useless, we would be in a very deep recession. It would be bad. So then I'm like, well, I don't want that either. But also I hate this. But maybe I'm okay with all these big companies just wasting their money on it, but then everybody starts to use it. So I don't know.
Well, the thing is, and this recent news that came out, I think a couple of days ago, was that Disney is investing $1 billion into OpenAI. So talk about licensed characters and all of that stuff coming into play. So, this is a thing. And this was also a fight that the movie industry, the television industry have been having for quite some time, because they see their writers and actors actually disappearing because of the abilities of AI to kind of take their place or to use their content, to replicate it in a worse form.
Yeah, no, we're not far away from being able to like write a prompt into a computer and then, tweak it for a few days and have a film. Like
it seems like we already have had that. A lot of films,
well, like an actual releasable film, because the stuff that comes out of that now is garbage. Like,
have you seen
that everybody recognizes as garbage, but eventually they won't recognize it as garbage.
Sure.
The point is, we're very close. And
we're very close.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to get into all that super heavy stuff. We're going to take it from a tabletop perspective, which is still heavy nonetheless.
Yeah.
And Anthony, again, there's a lot of ways to look at this. There's a lot of ways to take it, and there's a lot of fun to have with it. And when we're talking about AI and tabletop gaming, I think it's actually, again, it's a very serious topic that we need to take into consideration. And there's been a lot of historical events over the last couple of months/years where it's come up in a lot of different places. I think just recently, Marvel and DC, the comics, actually pushed back and won't be using AI art. But that doesn't mean we already haven't seen it in tabletop gaming. So when I think about this, I think about it in reference to the Pixar movie WALL-E, which is this, again, if you haven't seen it, you should. It's this cute, adorable film about this little robot and how it is still operating based upon a product and premise of just fixing things, and just with that kind of very positive spirit. And even under the best conditions with AI and eventually robotics, which are here, but will get more intelligent as time goes on, how that has caused unintentional side effects.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch WALL-E, you're like, yes, but also, oh dear God.
Right.
But, can it also come back and save us, or is it, again, what is the good and bad? What are the pros and cons to this?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of different aspects to all of this, but really at the end of the day, as AI creeps into the tabletop world, as AI becomes more cardboard and wood and plastic at the table, what does it mean for us as gamers? So for this feature review, we're going to take a look about all the pros and cons and some of the discussion topics that we're going to be dealing with for the next, for the future, I guess, at the very least. Forever.
It's not going away.
So Anthony, pros and cons here. Do you want to go positive? Do you want to go negative? Do you want to go back and forth? How you feeling it?
Yeah, let's go through the pros first.
Sure.
I do think people, most people come at this as, this is a new tool, what can it do for me? And
Yes.
I think it's helpful to think about the ways it can be helpful.
Yes.
Or has been helpful. Like, I say a lot of negative things about AI, but I do use it occasionally for certain things that would take me hours that can take less time. Like, organizing stuff in a spreadsheet, or pulling data out of a thing, or using it to pull certain words out of our transcript. Find this for me. Like, it's good at that. So I think that's an interesting way to start it, and then we can talk about the cons, and then kind of, because the cons are often like reframing of the pros of, well,
yes.
Yes, it does that, but also it does this.
It's the Wall-E paradox.
Exactly.
Well, again, to kind of start off with this, as much as we are concerned and, challenged by all this, most people, most gamers do embrace AI, like you do, every day as a positive tool. So one of the first things we want to talk about is, again, one of the biggest challenges about tabletop games is when you're playing a game and there's a rules question. And now what do you do? Is there a particular rules lawyer at the table? Do you have to go through the rule book? Do you have to look at an errata? A lot of people do go to like ChatGPT to find out that answer pretty quickly. So AI can instantly clarify rules, deal with edge cases and keywords, again, depending on how it's pulling stuff in. But so there is a benefit right here. Like, you don't have to like shut the game down to do this. You don't have to argue, at the table about who's right or wrong, because usually it's benefiting someone but hurting somebody else. And then, new players can also go ahead and get those answers without having to really kind of like interrupt the table. So if there are new places there. So does faster mean better here? Like, is that a good pro here for you, Anthony? Have you ever used AI to answer questions for a game?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't trust AI as a search engine.
Okay.
So, we've been over this. I'm an English professor. I've seen how much it hallucinates, and the thing about AI is that it hallucinates at like a 10 to 15% rate. So the problem is it will all seem correct.
Yes.
And there'll be just enough off in there to kind of mess you up. Mm-hmm. So I just don't feel like we're to the point yet where you could fully trust it. I think when you can, this will be very helpful.
Yeah, in the future, AI, again, we look at like there's Diced, which is an app that helps teach you the games.
Mm-hmm.
And people get rules wrong too. The rule books are oftentimes convoluted and some, if not wrong. So having an AI objective third party might be helpful to kind of like straighten or kind of at least assume what the right answer is. I mean, how many times have we had like the card says one thing and the board says something else? Like, which happens first? Like, I don't know.
Right.
And again, it's not answered in the rule book. And sometimes the rule book is so problematic that you do need some sort of clarity just to drop some text in there and try to figure it out. So
I feel like the AI would just make up an answer, though. Like, I guess if you're okay with that, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we all make up answers, right? That's a thing we do.
I mean, yeah, if you just want to pretend that you have an objective third party, even though it's just making up random stuff, sure.
But it could be a thing where if there was a base of knowledge that was smart enough and not hallucinating at that level to try to figure those things out,
right,
it could help smooth the game over a little bit more by answering questions or figuring out edge cases.
Yeah.
So
the thing about that is like the information is out there. I would say 90% of the time when I'm looking something up, I can find the answer somewhere.
Sure.
If you had a tool that could do that, but most importantly, could say when that information is not available, I don't know. or
Sure.
there is no answer instead of just making something up. I think that's when you'd find the sweet spot where it's helpful. Because Board Game Geek has a lot of the stuff in there, but it's really hard to find
It
because
is.
it's not a well indexed site. You're really relying on Google, and then it's just kind of random what pops up, and so you end up opening like 30, 40 threads. Like if you get
Yes.
AI to go through and look at all of that quickly and find the right answer from like the
Hmm.
designer,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, and that could certainly be one of the possibilities that's able to do in the future, where the designer is able to feed an AI in a very small context, right? Like a limited capacity where it's not scraping from 1,000 sites,
Right? Yeah.
and be able to give you that kind of response.
Yeah, like all the erratas and all the, like you take all the stuff from
Yes.
Root, right, which is like
Yeah.
6 books of errata and updates and everything, dump it all into a machine, and then the machine can tell you the answers instead of having to read all those books.
Yeah, like any game with like endless numbers of expansions, and just like, but it works like this on this way, but not with this expansion. But if I add this module, it switches. Like,
Yeah.
so there again, AI can provide that kind of somewhat clarity. Number two here, Anthony, easier onboarding for new players. So we have a lot of people out there. We've done this in the past, and I know there's a lot of other video people out there as well. Um, Doing play walkthroughs of games, actually having AI tutors to kind of like walk you through the game, less embarrassment, less public shame a little bit. Again, a lot of players or a lot of game reviewers or game walkthroughs sometimes do a very good job, and sometimes are few and very far between, and then sometimes are just, they get the rules wrong. I can't tell you, I mean, you and I both know this, how many times, especially in the old days, where there was like somebody would walk you through a game and like just not be correct. So having AI to be there for new players to kind of correct certain things, and maybe even help newer gamers or established gamers move on to heavier games, I think might be helpful. So the idea that anything that helps people get them to the table and maybe play more complex games because they feel comfortable with AI is a plus.
Yeah, I guess all the stuff I already said before about it
Yeah.
accuracy, but
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a tool. So like the first one was the idea of the edge cases and the rules lawyers, and the second one is like you feel like new players will feel more confident engaging if they feel like they have some sort of support system, especially if you go to like a friendly local game store that's not so friendly, that people may not be like willing to help, which is sad, and they should not do that. They should welcome and invite people to play a little bit more. Anthony, the third one here I think is really key, and if Will was here, he'd probably go on about this for an hour. One of the types of games we play a lot is TTRPGs, so your typical role playing games. Now, there's so many reasons why it's really hard to get a role play game at the table, and in particular, it's because the GM has to do a lot. So GM burnout, right? That there's something that really happens there, because there's a lot of management of all the different manuals, of all the different calculations at the table, all the different charts, spreadsheets, whatever you have to do. So what about, on a positive side, having AI support a GM to do like some prep work, whether it's story work or, putting together some of the characters, maybe filling in some information for NPCs or encounters. And then like that will allow more GMs to kind of do the more important stuff. And also on the other side, may allow more people to become GMs. It doesn't replace them, but it supports them.
sure, yeah.
All right. I don't know if Will feels about that, but we'll get Will on some point. Another positive here is accessibility improves across the board. So we've talked about this a lot, and especially back in the day. It's much better now at this point, but a lot of games are language dependent. So if you don't know that particular language of that, whether it might be a foreign language to you, or it might use certain visual, like symbologies and things like that you might have to interpret. So that might help bring, more accessibility to the table. more positive interaction because someone would be able to translate that. Again, this is in a world where AI is advanced enough that you could just probably take a picture of a card or scan a card and the AI be able to translate that language for you or interpret the symbology for you. So more inclusive tables, less barrier of entry, uh, maybe even help you with some math. So some people might have some level of dyscalculia where just doing mathematical formulas in their head are not very simple. Or people, I can't remember the term off the top of my head, I had it a second ago, but can't visualize as much in their head if they're playing a role play game. So maybe if the GM is kind of giving you a story and like you can look up the characters really quick, like what does the monster look like, that kind of scenario. So accessibility is a positive.
Yeah, I think this is a big one. And I think it's one of those areas where AI is a useful tool and
Yeah.
not so problematic. A lot of these are problematic, but like accessibility, like interpreting existing information and providing it in a new context is something that machines are generally very good at.
Mm-hmm.
And it does become like a personally useful resource. It's not generative. It's not transforming stuff into a new thing or replacing the purpose of like human creativity in a way that is always going to lose something. It's just literally taking something that has a barrier and adjusting it in a way that makes it more accessible, which I think is great.
Sure. And then I think the final positive here, although I'm sure there's others as well, please let us know, is that AI could actually help us with our cognitive load here, because a lot of games, especially the harder, crunchier, more complex games, have a lot of different conditions and resources and scoring. And having the AI, and we have this on some form, there's a lot of apps that you can play with a board game that actually help you track and do some calculations and manage resources. And sometimes that could be really helpful. Historically, those apps haven't been the best, but they certainly have gotten better over the years.
Yeah, and there are certain games too like really need it. So like
Yeah.
um having an app, like if we could have, and I know we have the technology, but like programming it obviously into it in a way that could work is like take a picture of the board state and be able to calculate, you know,
Yes.
points or resources or time needed or keep track of things for setup later or whatever is needed. Like at a very, very simple level, you can see that in a game like Fantasy Realms,
Yeah.
where
The Score Realms app.
yeah, the Score Realms
Yeah.
app is perfect. It takes away like the most complicated, time consuming part of that game, which is
Yes.
largely an accessibility issue too, because like it takes the game, like it's harder for children to play, it's harder for people with numerical issues to play. So removing the mental load and just getting to the fun part, absolutely, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember, was it Between Two Cities, The Castles of
Between Two
Mad King
Castles.
Louis?
Yeah.
I remember playing that and going, I don't ever want to play this again because everyone wanted me to calculate their score.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Because it was crazy. And then they came out with an app for it, which was great. Here's the thing. I never used the app because they wanted me to pay for it.
No, you can't do that. It's got to be free.
And I was like, look, I'm not bringing this to the table. Like, I'm not paying $1 more if I have to pay for your app to do it. Like, great job. I applaud you, but also you built a system that needed this and it was not included.
Yeah.
So, and I feel bad because I like the game generally, but I'm not doing the scoring and I'm not paying $1 for that app. I'm sorry.
No.
And I don't think it was $1. I think it was like $5 or something.
No,
that
needs to be in the box. That's not okay.
Like, and again, you could recognize it. Like, look, like the scoring's a lot. We got feedback. We produced an app. Like it's free. Like if they can make the Score Realms free, you can make your own scoring thing free.
Yeah.
Which again was something we had talked about when we played the game. Is like you should be able to hover your phone above the game board and just score it.
Yeah.
Because again, there's so much iconography on there. And again, sometimes games win or lose by a point or two. So it's like, and you're calculating so many games where it's like 100, 200, 300 points. You're just like, oh, you lost by 2 points. Oh, wait a minute. This did this and this did that. Like,
Yeah.
So, yes, apps are good when they actually do, especially calculations of final scoring, and they're not expensive.
Yeah. Take away that mental load that nobody actually wants to do. And yeah, that's great. It's
Alchemist had that, right? Alchemist had an app way back in the day.
Alchemist has an app, yeah. Little Alchemist recently came out last year. That has an app as well.
There you go.
And it's a fun thing. It adds variability to the game. It also keeps track of the score and stuff for you. So.
That's fantastic. All right, so here comes the cons, and the cons are not necessarily super cons yet because again, this has not been fully like black pilled as it was. Like this is really just like concerns that AI will enter into tabletop gaming in a not positive way, or again, the Wall-E paradox where it's like we talked about a lot of the pros, which are pros and are beneficial, and we do want those beneficial things. Like I do want to be able to score my game quickly, right? Like there's nothing like I can't tell you how many times I've played a game for like 2-3 hours and they're like, okay, cool, now simple arithmetic. And I'm like, nope, brain is done. Brain did like 6,000 calculations. Don't want to do simple arithmetic now. So if I could, pass my phone over the board and just know what the final score is, I'd be fine with that. So here's the challenges. Here's of what, gamers risk losing. First and foremost, the magic, Anthony, of being wrong together. So we talked about this at the very beginning, rules lawyering, trying to figure things out, stopping the game, pulling the car aside, and just like, let's try to figure the rules out together. Well, there is those moments. There is that camaraderie. There is that interest, that dynamic. So, yeah, you do misplay rules sometimes wrong, but, sometimes those just become really cool variants that you did not know existed. Sometimes, mistakes make very good stories, right? Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, we've, created like, oh, someone didn't tell us about this rule. So therefore we were like, what the heck, man? And he's like, well, I'm going to take that action. I'm like, no, I don't think you are. Like, you didn't tell us about that at the beginning. So like,
right.
We're going to continue to play the wrong way, but because we played that, 3/4 of the way through. So, funny story, but yeah, I mean, again, a lot of games at the table are those stories that you tell together, and sometimes the stories you tell together are mistakes that you tell together, and then the ways you overcome it. So it's a little bit of a meta game.
Yeah, totally. I think this speaks to something beyond just like the joke of getting something wrong together, but like there is that shared experience that only exists at a game table that is unique to that particular group, right?
Yeah.
And when you replace some elements of that, however small they might be, but like the act of learning the game, the act of interacting with the game, the act of clarifying rules, then at a certain point you lose some of the specialness of that space. Whatever that looks like, whether it's being wrong together or learning together, or the downtime between turns is while people kind of look through the rule book, whatever that is, that's just part of the experience. And I know some people are like, I don't want any of that, and that's fair if you don't, but it is part of that. It's part of the social component of the game. If you remove all of those social components and replace it with like the sleek shininess of a machine managing the system for you, then it's different. It changes things.
Yeah. Well, next one here, Anthony, is a little bit on the same feel because, and this has happened mostly because gamers just generally are very good at figuring out games and sometimes breaking games.
Yeah.
So what if you do have the intelligence of an AI and you're like, hey, what's the best winning strategy to play at like Blood Rage, for example?
Yeah.
Or again, all of those different, CCGs, right? Create a deck or some sort of miniatures game. And like, you could just calculate that in. And a lot of people do that, right? There's so many pages out there where like, whether it's chess or Terra Mystica or several other games where it's just like, people have done the calculations. People have put together algorithms and stuff to just try to figure out like, if they do this, I do this, or this is the first 12 steps I should take, ideally. So games get better, right? We all get better at games because we have those kind of strategies played for us. But inevitably, it does feel like they become less fun.
Yeah, you lose that sense of discovery. You're not discovering what works in the game. You're being told what works, and then you're executing it. So you're not playing the game so much as piloting it.
Yes.
And I mean, that you can do that. People, like you're talking about CCGs, people do that. They go buy pre-made decks, or they look
Yeah.
up deck lists and they build that, and then they pilot that deck. They
Yeah.
didn't build it, they didn't design it. They're just piloting it and trying to make it work as best as they can. And that's still fun for them, and that's totally a reasonable way to play, as long as you know that that's what you're getting into, right?
Yes.
Like, you are removing some of the fun for yourself. Like, when I heard back in the day that Terra Mystica was more or less a solved game, right?
Yes.
I was like, that's cool. I don't want to look that stuff up, because it's not as
Yeah.
much fun to play it if I know what the strategies are and what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I want to be able to play a game where there's pathways, right? And you and I have talked about this a lot. Like, there's games, and then there's game experiences,
Right.
where there's like an experience of playing a game, but you're not really playing it, right? It's just, it plays itself more or less. So, and again, the strategy building is fun, but also if it's solvable, and AI is going to be able to solve it if it can, because again, uh it's got some of those abilities there, then it becomes less fun, because then there's just like, who can enact their strategy faster, who gets lucky with a card draw.
Right.
Now, I think earlier we talked about how AI can, support and better people for playing TTRPGs. Now, the interesting dynamic here is, while it's wonderful to be a support system, it's almost too easy to get AI involved in other elements. So our role-playing game is going to lose their soul, because now with AI generated content, you can easily and simply and quickly create dialogue,
Right.
just like boom, 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 dialogue, or you can create new plot elements or new character arcs, right? Like, you can imagine a situation where behind the GM screen, they just have their laptop set up, and they're like, you go down to the tavern and like you fall down the stairs, and everyone's like, okay, well, fireball. And you're just like, well, I wasn't expecting that. And like, you throw into AI, like, hey, they cast fireball inside of a pit. Like, what happens? Like, there you go. I know exactly what happens now. So there's a challenge here where the DM becomes less special,
Yeah.
and the human element's less engaging. So there's less improvisation that the DM is doing, and there's more of again, AI is amazingly fast, but not as fast as what a DM has to be to like think on their feet. So, and again, sometimes what the DM may want to do, obviously, a good DM wants everyone to succeed, but doesn't want anyone to think that they're doing that, more or less.
Yeah.
But the AI is a little smarter, so maybe it does want to kill off the players.
I mean, this is a funny one. I've read several articles in the last 2-3 years about people playing Dungeons and Dragons solo with ChatGPT as their DM.
Oh, okay.
Because it knows the rules pretty well. They're all out there. It mixes up them, a few of them here and there, but it's a pretty static set of things, and there's a lot of numbers in there, and ChatGPT is good at numbers. So yeah, like, I guess that's fun. I guess you have that fun of it, but like, when the creative element gets mixed up, or if you're playing with other people,
Sure.
and especially getting the weird ethical realm, if people are expecting you to be the one curating the story, and then you're not actually doing it, the machine is doing it. Do you share that? Do you disclose that with people? Is that a known thing? You get into a lot of weird gray areas here that really overlaps a lot with like the whole issue with AI, and generative AI in particular, use in creative spaces. TTRPGs are a creative space.
Yes.
Do we utilize those where human creativity it needs to be? How do we use it just as a supplement instead of a replacement? Where's the line? And that's, there's a societal element to that, where we have to kind of decide, is this a society what we want to be? But there's also a personal element. What are you comfortable with?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know, this is something I think about and talk about a lot, but it's there's like certain elements that are helpful, like, you're like stuck, I need to name 30 people in this village. I don't want to stay up till midnight naming all these people in my script. ChatGPT, give me 50 fantasy names,
Yes.
But like, what do these people do? What are the dialogue? Like, well, now we're getting into a weird squishy area.
Yeah. Well, that takes us to our next point, Anthony, here. Personalization can kill shared experiences. So one of the great things about AI is it can tailor, as you said, individual skills, player experiences. It can put together engagement mechanics and metrics But the challenge here is that it can curate such a personalized experience that you're missing out on the breadth of the societal experience that you may have with other players,
Mm-hmm.
with different aspects that may be a struggle to you, right? Like the beauty and the wonder of what technology has been able to do, especially on our phones, is like, I like a thing, therefore I get more of that type of thing.
Right.
But the downside is I never experience anything else that I might like, or I
Right.
might have to struggle with and then find out that I like it. Or even if I struggle with it and I don't like it, that enriches my human experience because now I know something about myself that I did not know.
Right.
So the echo chamber that an AI creates is wondrous in one aspect, but it's a chamber.
It's just, it makes you comfortable, and it feels nice to be comfortable.
Yeah.
There's less anxiety, especially if you have social anxiety. You're like, cool, I feel comfortable. I know what to expect. I know how to
Yeah.
handle this. But like you said, if you don't push yourself, you don't overcome those anxieties, and in fact, they get worse. So
Yeah.
it's not helping you in the long run, at least not with dealing with those particular elements. It's just making you more comfortable in that moment.
Mm.
And similarly to the TTRPG thing, it's really like, what is your comfort level, and are you aware that this is happening? Because this is already happening. Sans AI, like you said, we all live in an echo chamber of some kind because technology is designed to do that to us. That's what social media does. It's what your Spotify playlist does. It's what your Netflix queue does. It puts you in a loop, and you're making, decisions within a very confined space without a lot of outside um, factors influencing it. So, yeah, this is one that I worry about for myself, even not using it as much. It's just like, how much shared experience do we lose by having all these curated spaces? It's really nice to have, but like, is it good for us?
It's true. And finally, the last kind of con here, and major one in some aspects, is two parts. One, as AI becomes a more powerful tool to help us succeed in games, does that monetization creep in a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Like, I want to win my CCG because I'm going to get stuff and there's monetary value to be won. So it's less about the game, even more so.
Mm-hmm.
And how much money do I have to pay in order to be able to be successful at the games that I'm playing?
Right.
And just like the secondary market for CCGs kind of breaks a lot of games, especially for me, at least for me,
Yeah.
I would say. Like, I love a good CCG. I love building a deck. I love it. Like, I just love the concept of it. And then, yeah, at the same time, like, if I know there's a whole secondary market of other better cards, or even when it comes to miniature games, of like other things I could buy or something, if I could afford it, that's just like, what am I doing? Like, at that point, what's the point of playing it if I'm going to get smashed by like somebody who has like a $10,000 deck,
Right.
which is not it's not a crazy amount of money anymore to spend on a deck. Like, people spend that kind of money on decks now. Like, cards are hundreds of dollars each.
Yeah.
Like, it's a real thing that happens out there. So AI offering another ability to kind of like really creep in is really painful and problematic. But again, once certain people start doing it, like they do with secondary market, then it opens up such a bad situation here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, and this is what happens too. Like, we're in the phase right now, and this happens with any new technology, new service, new approach. Things are really cheap and easy and accessible. Um, Use AI now, you don't really think about the cost
Yeah.
because it's just there. It costs a lot to run. These companies are losing billions of
Yes.
dollars, um, and so we're being trained to just use it without
Yes.
thinking, and then the price is going to start going up, and it's going to start being monetized in different ways, and it's going to start having those impacts on individual components, like a hobby, like
Yeah.
games that we play, like the way we approach those things. So um we're well on our way there, and we're already seeing in various ways.
Yeah, I mean, you could at some point in the very near future, like, you could be playing a Vital Lacerda game and just like enjoying your strategy or something else, and just like have someone else pick up their phone, point it at the board, put it back down on the table, and just like, and now they've developed a counter response,
Right.
and you're just like, well, I thought I was playing a person and not a robot, like,
Right.
which brings me to the other side of this, which has been happening forever, which is AI or early versions of AI, like, for example, Deep Blue, playing or defeating the reigning world champion, Gary Kasparov, in chess. Like, are we at that point? Like, should AI even be engaging in these types of games? Like, do we lose something? If that becomes a normal element in our play, right? Because AI at this point can beat us almost at everything, right? I think, is Go still available, or Go
AlphaGo won, yeah, a few years back.
Okay, but
that was the holy grail. Like,
yeah,
the number of decision spaces in Go was so high. They're like, this will take decades, and then it happened not too long ago.
Jeez. That was the last holdout.
Yeah, pretty much. What beyond that, you're getting outside of the abstract games. You're getting into like social elements. Like, can an AI win at diplomacy?
Yeah, and again, once that starts to kind of creep in, along with the monetization of, like, I need to win this game.
Yeah,
and as you were saying earlier, Anthony, like, at what point do we lose the human element of the game? Because again, a lot of the games are built on algorithms and strategies and things of that nature, and they are solvable.
Yeah.
But maybe on some level, we should never be graced with that real knowledge of how to solve a game. Because once it's solvable, it's no longer fun.
Well, the point of a game is not to solve it. That's a puzzle, right? The point of a game is to engage with others and explore your ability to process information in a social setting. Like, I don't want to solve it. Like, I've never looked up Terra Mystica strategies. I don't want to know what people have done to solve those games. I want to explore it myself, even if I pick a bad faction and get stomped on. It's fine. It's fun. It's, I don't want to look up how to build a deck for a game I'm playing. I'm going to do it myself, and it's going to be bad, and my son's going to destroy me. But that's fine because it's fun.
Yeah.
So it's.
But he's playing with you.
Exactly. It's because we're doing it together.
And
right?
you're that deck is you.
Yeah.
That deck isn't somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah. And you could go find everybody else's decks, and that's fine. But why? Right.
Well, I mean, take a look at, I think probably the most famous example, which was not AI driven, was it A Few Acres of Snow?
Yeah.
With the Halifax Hammer, I think it was called, the strategy.
Yeah.
Nobody plays that game anymore.
No, yeah, because once everybody learned, the game is solved, and if you do this thing, it wins. You're like, oh, well, that's not fun. I'm like, it can still be fun, just don't do that, or don't look it up.
But then, yeah,
similar like Scythe. There's a bunch of stuff you can't do in that game because like certain combinations are broken to the point of the game being solved, and it's like, I guess we just don't do that, but
just don't do that, man.
Yeah.
But then inevitably, just human nature, people do that.
Yeah, whether they mean to or not.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know there was a Loki strategy until I did it, and I was like, oh, that's broken, but awesome. And then you look it up, you're like, oh, that's a thing everybody figured out, that's like, if you let somebody do that, they're going to win no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting concepts and dynamics that AI can do.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think in this space at the table, that social dynamic and that human element that enters into the magic circle and bleeds into the characters, and we have to be extremely careful that AI is supporting that instead of replacing that.
Yeah.
Because unintentionally, because of our desire to win or to somehow achieve some other social dynamic, we are missing out on true engagement and challenge and earned success, and other people at the table are missing out on us. Like your son, when like he's playing with you, but that deck is also you, and like your strategy is in there, so that deck has value, right? Like there's something about that. Like he could hold on to that deck for the next 50 years and just be like, my dad made this deck.
Right.
Like that's something unique and special. Like there's an element of you in that, you're thinking in there. But if it's an AI deck that just wins every time, it's like, great, this wins every time, but it's not my dad. It's just some algorithm that figured out how to win.
Right. Yeah. It's just a thing that happened. It's I got lucky, or I had the right money, or whatever.
And it's that discover. I mean, when you play a tabletop game and you do a thing and it works out, and then everyone's like, "Wow," or "Damn, how'd you do?" Like And you're like, yeah, I totally plan to do that. That was my strategy from the beginning, to do those things in that order.
Yeah, I didn't just look at it 10 minutes ago and realize, like, oh shoot, I could do a thing now.
And honestly, there's no better experience in board gaming than just looking at the board and going, oh, I just set myself up. Like, the moment before you do the action that does all the things, oh, that's such, like, you're waiting for it. You're just like, and snowball.
Yeah, look what I did.
I did all the things, and it was all for me. So, yeah, no, AI is going to be a wonderful tool and continue to be so, but all of us as tabletop gamers do need to manage it properly at the game table, not to mention the publications of tabletop games in the future, which is a whole other subject. But we need to manage at the table because we lose out in the fun and the people that are around us, and that's the reason why we're there. All right, everyone, until next time, this is Chris.
And this is Anthony.
And we'll save you all a seat at the table, except for the AI. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Hi there, I'm Hugh from Poderation. If you like today's show, why not check out Dungeons and Dragonfruits, the bizarre, strange, and queer in every sense of the word D&D podcast. Join 5 friends as they laugh, learn, and adventure their way through the weird, wonderful world of Widdershins, where dragons hatch from trees and have adventures of all forms in every shape and size. Available wherever you can get your podcasts.